I think with a pretty clear purpose. It's about saying to Welsh Government and Natural Resources Wales, stop. Stop the current dredging going on in relation to the construction of the new Hinkley power station. Stop the depositing of that dredged material on the Cardiff grounds. And stop ignoring the concerns raised by an increasing number of citizens and indeed elected members at all levels about what's going on. So why are we here today? Well, this testing took place. This procedure was followed without the vast majority of people knowing about it. When concerns were then raised, and as I say, the first I knew was when the Petitions Committee were handed a petition. That's when I became involved for the first time. There was then, understandably, a great deal of public interest. Now, I believe that the course of action that should have been followed at that point was to have conducted that further testing that I suggested at depth and in consultation with concerned parties in order to respond to public concerns. The fact that didn't happen leads us to where we are today, with dredging happening out in the Channel and concerned citizens seeing a government that just hasn't listened to them, despite options having been put on the table for trying to alleviate concerns. Today, they see governments, through their amendment, removing most of the tabled motion, again refusing to engage in a process which could and should have been conducted months ago, to seek more evidence and allay concerns. We will vote against that amendment. We'll also vote against the second amendment, on the advice of environmental campaigners who point out that there's a technical issue with it. It calls for NRW to conduct an environmental impact assessment, but campaigners say it's not NRW's job or competence to carry out an EIA. Of course, campaigners do want that assessment carried out, despite the Cabinet Secretary for Environment and Rural Affairs saying in a statement on September the 29th, 2017, and again I quote, that records show that the applications for the disposal of material in Welsh waters took into account the overall EIA for the Hinkley Point C project. Campaigners say courts have now proven that a separate EIA should be needed, as the overall general EIA doesn't cover dredging. Without a specific EIA, they argue, you just can't make a decision on whether to agree or to refuse a licence application. So I haven't gone today into the principle of how anything could be dumped quite so easily on Welsh land or in Welsh waters, this easily, regardless of what that material is. I've raised that in the past, and perhaps others will comment on that during this debate. But above all, today this motion is about listening to people and recognising real concerns. That hasn't happened, and I hope I've been able to highlight how a sensitive government could have responded. And this motion states that they should do so now by suspending the licence. The message is clear, and to all members, including those on Labour benches, on the government benches, who have said that they agree and sympathise with the concerns of their constituents, vote for this motion today.
We've wedi